10 things I hate about retro game collecting. Let's go. Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel, Bambinos. This is a video I've been thinking about doing for quite some time, okay? So I've got 10, no particular order, okay? 10 things I hate. Hate's a strong word. 10 things that annoy me. 10 things that give me a ball ache. No, 10 things I hate about retro game hunting, okay? Make sure I've got 10, all right? So I got like 7, and I was having a good old think. I thought, I want to do 10. Why not? Because I go the extra mile for you guys, don't I? Okay, so I have got them written down on my phone. I don't want to come across as I'm ignoring you. I'm texting away whilst on camera, you know? So, number 1. The wrong game in the case. How frustrating is that? If it hasn't happened to you, if you're a retro game hunter, consider yourself lucky, because it's happened to me in 3 or 4 different CEXs. To be fair, it's never once happened in a retro game store or a convention, Comic-Con or anything like that, but it has happened in Newport twice and Port Talbot CEX and Newport CEX, numerous times. Okay, it's so frustrating. More frustrating if you're traveling like an hour on the train. Even more frustrating if you're traveling over an hour and that's the main game you want. So since then, obviously common sense, you got to check the games as well, but it's their job. They're supposed to put the right disc in the right case, you know. So it's not, excuse the pun, it's not the case all the time, you know. But that's a good one. Number 1, wrong game in the wrong case. Similar kind of one. Again, this is mainly aimed at CEX. Is the staff not checking the disc condition? It takes 30 seconds to put it in the disc cleaner. It's just that for me. It's that going that extra mile, and it's not much, just to open before you put the game in, just have a look at the condition and go, I'm just going to pop that in the disc cleaner for you. That's really good customer service, that is. It's about 50-50, you know. I would like a 50-50 where they do compared to where they don't, you know. So half the people are checking, half aren't, unfortunately. I'd like it to be a standard thing across all CEX stores, but you can argue as well, though, that they're checking the condition of the disc when you trade it in, so they can say, yes, it's been checked, but you just don't know. They might be checked, and they put the game in those Polly Pocket things, and it could get damaged or something there, you know, so it takes a couple of seconds, you know, so that's another thing that gets on my nerves. Number 3, now this is a big one. It's only happened the once where could I prove it? Maybe not. But it's CEX knowingly selling faulty goods. Now, Swansea CEX, shame on you. I bought a Sega Master System control pad off their website. I think it was something like £8. And one of the buttons wasn't working. I can't really remember. So I took it back to Swansea CEX. The first thing they said was, we're going to have to test it. You're going to have to come back because we need to test it to confirm the fault. I thought, fair enough. So I said, because they're not showing any Sega Master Systems in stock. I was just curious. I said, how are you going to test it? Have you got like all consoles at the back or something? He goes, no. I said, so how are you going to test it then? And he just walked the man, and he came back. It was, the manager said, this one time, we'll take your word for it that it's faulty. So I thought, wow, okay, so you're going to make me hang around town for no reason, kind of thing. But then the funny thing is, when I got home that day, I wanted to buy another Sega Master System controller because I still wanted one, you know. And Swansea was showing one in stock. So what they did was just didn't test it, put it back for sale. So shame on you, Swansea CEX. You know, somebody would have bought a faulty Sega Master System controller and they knowingly would have sold it as well. Again, shame on you, CEX. Coming in at number 4. Oh, I got it written down here. Annoying man in console action and poor service. So one of our regular stores, I used to go in every single week at one point, right? Is a store in Swansea called Console Action. And we'll call him the annoying man. He's just a guy. The shop is jam-packed with games, okay? So he's got a lot of stuff in there. But the man, like, he won't move. He'll stand there in your way. And you're like trying to look, but he'll stay there. And it's like, you want to say, oh, can I have a look at the stuff behind you? And then but they just think, I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered, kind of thing. And yesterday he came in for about 10 seconds. Maybe he's getting the hint. I don't know. Maybe the owner's telling him, just don't come in here. I'm not even sure if he works there. I'm a bit confused about that setup. What have I got? Yeah, and poor service. And again, I'll stick with yesterday then. I bought there's a Bloodwick for the Xbox in there, and I picked up a game for Chris as well. And it's very rare, it's quite an art as well, when you get served by someone and he's the owner of the business and he didn't say a word to me. He didn't say hello when we went in, but we're not expecting that. But he actually didn't say, that's £10, please. He just pointed the card machine and I tapped it and I was like, he hadn't even said anything. That's very rare. Think, when's the last time you were in a shop and the shopkeeper or shop owner didn't communicate with the customer at all? No, he's not a mute because I have spoke to him before. he's in the wrong business, you know. So number 4 is annoying man in console action / poor customer service, you know. Number 5, missing games, i.e. showing a game online but not available in store. Yes, so for example, right now there's in Swansea CEX, Warborn. Twice I've been in there looking for it and I haven't got it there, but the stock file is still showing it. That's just one example. And Newport CEX have got about 4 Sega Master System games, which they haven't got there, but they're still on their stock file. And, what is it? Marvel Superheroes for the PS1. That's a £52 game. And they haven't got it there. But you are still showing it on your stock file. So again, if you wanted to travel an hour on the train somewhere to see the Master System games and have a look at the PS1 games and they haven't got them, you know, it's not good customer service, is it? So that's Newport and Swansea CEX. Most of the CEXs are pretty accurate with what they've got, you know. Number 6, CEX hiring the wrong people, i.e. bad attitude staff in Newport and Bridgend CEX and lack of product knowledge. And I got another little funny one that happened yesterday. I'm laughing at it now. It was funny at the time as well, if I'm being honest. So I think he was a manager. So obviously it kind of ties into poor product knowledge, putting the wrong games in the wrong cases. Do you know what I mean? That's bad. So you should know what you're doing there, or concentrate on what you're doing. Bridgend CEX, we've only ever been there once. The customer service was so bad. The only way I'll go in there, right, is if they've got a holy grail, or probably 2 or 3 holy grails, right? I don't want to give them any of my money. It's terrible customer service in there. No urgency. They're just huffing and puffing when you're asking, can I have a look at the game that you've got in the window? Oh, do you know what I mean? You just feel like saying, go back to sleep, mate. Do you know what I mean? Oh, and the funny one yesterday was we went into Swansea CEX and we were, I think it was 9 o'clock. We were meeting at 9 o'clock outside CEX. So at latest, it was like 5 minutes past 9 because we always have a look in the window display before we go in. So we went in there and there was a couple of customers waiting, but I didn't really pay much attention. So I was looking around, grabbing the games what I wanted and looking for games that they didn't have, wasting my time. And I noticed the queue was getting bigger. And I carried on looking. I'll go check out the anime section. I thought the queue was getting bigger again. And when I looked behind the till, there was one person serving. I thought, what the hell? But the guy was talking. He wasn't rushing, but he was doing his best. You know, he was serving away. I thought there must be more than one person in. But then I've worked in retail, you know, so I know people phone in sick, especially on a Saturday morning if they've been out the Friday before. And then I thought, that's bonkers, but maybe he's got other people on their way in or something, so whatever. So when we joined the queue, there was another guy behind the till, right? But we couldn't see him. He was like a bit further back. He had no idea, right? He was testing a VR set, and he was like going like this and looking around and everything like that. He had no idea how big the queue was. So I blame, if I was to blame any of them, it's the guy who was serving should have said to the customer, excuse me for 1 second, walked to the other guy, tapped him on the shoulder and said, the queue was nearly out the door, mate, can you test that later? And got rid of the queue kind of thing. It was interesting. And another girl came in starting, I think she was late. And she was talking to the VR guy, and it was like, all right. So the queue, and there was an old man behind me. He was not impressed at all. He wanted to be served now, kind of thing. I thought at one point he was going to ask, can he go in front of me or something? But then when they both came to serve, the queue went down like that. Then, you know. But it was quite funny that he had no idea how busy it was. He was, you know, he must have been told test the VR. You know, it was funny though. So yeah, 6 is CX hiring the wrong people, you know. But then again, because I've worked in retail, it's a lot easier said than done to find the right people. Sometimes I've worked even manager jobs, right? When I was a regional manager for a Jack and Jones, I'll tell you, some people not even applying for the jobs. Like, even if they're half good, you're almost at the point where you're desperate to get staff in. I remember going to, kind of going off topic, but one city, I think it was Southampton, and walk into the university campus, like outside, and asking people, is anyone looking for a job? We're doing interviews in Debenhams now, come, kind of thing. And it was, you got to go out and find them, but it is easier said than done to get the right people in there, you know. And I don't know, would I want to work in CX? Probably not, you know. You see, there's always a druggie kicking off or something, you know. So yeah, I got number 7. I've got poor shop standards. So some, again, CX, maybe this is where CX are pretty good, pretty organised, right? But some of the independent stores we go to, I won't name and shame these ones, right? Or the first one store we go to, he's got fantastic stock, but about 5% of it is priced. You're constantly asking, how much is this? And he's got to check, and then you go, how much is that? Like, even the stuff in the cabinet. And it's a good way to engage with your customers, I suppose. But like, if it's busy and he's asked, someone else is asking, it could be 5 people, different customers in his shop at the same time, all asking, how much is this? How much is this? How much is this? Kind of thing, you know. Games poorly stacked in cabinets. Now this is another retro game store we go to. I won't name and shame this one either. The Master System games are in a cabinet that is like your knee height kind of thing, so you got to go down and have a look. And there is space in there to bring them all forward, tidy, and just have them all, because on Master System, says the name of the game on the side of the case. But they're all just rammed in there. And you can't blame the customers, because it's the staff have got the key to get in there, you know. So, and it just looks a mess. So, poor standards there. Another one, I won't name and shame, but this puts me off going in this store. This is a local one. Too many games. One of them has got Do you know like those big plastic storage containers, like about that deep, stacked with PS3, PS2, Xbox 360 games, but then got toys, figures and stuff like loads stacked on top. So to look in that case, you've got to move stuff. It's like, what are you thinking? And then you're scared sometimes. You want to have a look at a game and you're pulling it down and something else might fall on you, kind of thing. So again, I've worked in retail. If you've got too much stock in there, have a sale. Do like buy two get one free or 3 for £5. Other stores do it. Clear your stockpile a bit, and then you can see what's the customers are having more space to walk down the aisles. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds, not necessarily games, probably about 100 games too much in this one store, but in all the other toys and junk he's got. It's junk to me because I don't collect toys. Just clear, have a sale, have an event, have a Black Friday sale, a summer sale or something like that, just to get the customers in and get this stuff gone, you know. Might have to take a bit of a hit on your profits, but in the long run, it will 100% work in your favour, okay? Number 8. Customers messing up displays. Oh, I can't remember where we were. It was one of the cash generator or cash max, I think it was, in Swansea. And to be fair to them, they've got a good number of staff. It's like 3 or 4 staff in there at one time. And their Blu-rays, DVDs, games is always very well organised, very neat and tidy. And we were in there once and there was this guy looking, but the way he was looking and pulling all the games. He couldn't just look, like I had to touch everything, and he was just leaving a trail of destruction. I think it was me and Chris were just like pushing them all back after him. He was just winding my OCD up, you know. But I was like gobsmacked. It was like, oh my God. And like I used to work in the fashion industry, so clothing, and those customers are the worst customers, aren't they, that want to touch everything and, you know, and just leave a trail of destruction and mess behind them, you know. God knows what their house looks like. But yeah, it's just customers messing up all the displays. It's annoying for me. I can imagine how annoying it is for the shop owners, you know. Number 9. I got friends getting excited, calling me to the other end of the store. So I got my regulars, so me, Chris and Luxton. My magic friend Chris, shout out Chris, and Luxton, shout out Luxton. But there was another person that used to come with us, and I invited him. He didn't reply, and I will not be inviting him again. I was trying to be nice. But we went to... This one and the next one was in the same game hunt session, right? We went to Cardiff, and like I'm looking through all the games, and I get like a tug on my shoulder. Come look at this. Come look at this. Oh, right. So I go around. What's that? Look at that. And it's like a fucking Mean Machines magazine or something. So, oh, that's nice. And I go back, and there's someone standing, looking where I was looking. I've lost my train of thought. I'm looking for a specific game. And then I find my bearings again. I thought, I'll go over here and I'll go this way. So I'm looking. Then I get a tug on the shoulder. Oh, come look at this. Come look at this. And it's, look at that. And it's a fucking, I don't know, the Commodore 64 controller. It's like, oh yeah, that's nice. I don't collect the Commodore 64. Can I go back to that? Yeah. It's like you just wouldn't take a hint kind of thing. But what... If there's an etiquette then, and funnily enough yesterday, so shout out Chris, shout out Luxton, I think the game was Akina Hearts Love Max 3, and it was funny because I was looking at the PS2 games, and like we all like kind of split up. We know we've been doing it long enough now, we have a look. But if I see a game Chris or Luxton went, or in this case, they saw a game they thought I'd be interested in, they know I love my fighting games. I think it was Chris did it first. He'll just go, Tony, have you got that? And literally, I don't have to, he's not tugging me to another part of the store, losing my space kind of thing. And he'll be like, yeah, I got that. Thanks anyway. Put it back. And it was funny. Within 2 or 3 minutes, I think Chris had worked his way around by me. Luxton done the same thing. Goes, oh, Tony, have you got that? And I was like, yeah, we were laughing. Goes, what's so funny? I said, oh, because Chris did exactly the same thing. So again, if there's a game I know my mates want and I see it, I think, I'm not sure if he's got that. You just ask, you don't get excited, come with me, quick, kind of thing. It's nice what the person was trying to do, I suppose, but it's really frustrating. It's like, calm your tits down, like, do you know what I mean? You can tell me, Tony, they got a Mean Machines magazine over there. All right, I'll have a look in a sec now, do you know what I mean? Right, and even more, now this one is annoying and out of order. So it's the same person, right? And this is, I thought it was a joke, right? This is why he doesn't come game hunting. Again, I think we'd been a couple of times after this incident, right? But I was just, I'm a nice guy, I suppose. But as soon as he ghosted me for something, I'm like, right, he's never coming with us again, right? How annoying would this be? So we're in the car on the way to Cardiff, and I'm organised. I've spoke about it before. I can't remember what game it was. It's a Blaze Blue game. So I had screenshots, and there was about 5, I call them big hitters, not grails, but there was one of the games I wanted was a Blaze Blue game, okay? And they're showing it in Cardiff CEX. It wasn't an expensive game, but it's a game I've never seen in the wild. It was quite pricey on eBay. Put it this way, CEX were miles cheaper than everywhere else. It was £4, right? I think the next cheapest was something like £8. And so we were all talking. Chris was like, oh, what games he was interested in. I think Luxton had a couple of Xbox games that they were showing. I want to pick up this, and this. And then they asked me, and I said, oh, this. And I said, the Blaze Blue game. And they were, oh, what's that then? We actually had a conversation about this game as well. And then got to CEX, and I couldn't find it. It was one of those times where the stock file was wrong. And I asked them when I said, oh, are you sure when you got Blaze Blue? Yeah, I said, it hasn't been put behind or anything like that. Because, oh, no, I'll only be over there. And I said, I've looked everywhere for it. It's not out, you know, so never mind. So we went to another store then, and Super Tomato in Cardiff. And so we're looking around. And then one of the boys comes to me. I thought it was a joke, right? Oh, have you heard of that? And it was the Blaze Blue game. I was like, oh, nice one. And I said, oh, that's the game that I wanted, that I got a picture of. Oh, right. I think I'll buy that then. And then I thought maybe he misunderstood me. I said, oh, yeah, nice one. That's the game that I couldn't find. No, we're all looking for that game in Cardiff, CEX, and we couldn't find it. That's the game. I'm not really into fighting games, but yeah, and I think I'll buy this. Oh, hang on one sec. Hello. Is this the Rossi Show? Come say hello. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes. Come to say hello, have you? It's okay. We've just had visitors, we have. My mum's come over with her dog. He doesn't leave you alone, does he? He wants to play all the time. Right, kiss. Oh, that was a nice one. Right down then. Careful. Careful. There we are. Sorry guys. We've all got time for Rossi on this channel. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so this other person had the game that I wanted. And honestly, it was the one game out of everything I was looking for that day. That was the one game I wanted. I was really looking forward to playing it, and I wanted to do it on my series around the world of 80 fighting games. Yeah, and he was like, so yeah, I can't remember if I told you. So I said a second time, yeah, that's the game, that's that one. I can't remember if I showed him on the phone, but I said that was the one that we couldn't find, we were all looking for. I thought he was joking, right? And then I was like gobsmacked. I was like, you fucking kidding me? So then Chris and Laxam are like looking at each other like, what's going on here then? That's out of order. Said he buys it, right? So then I honestly thought it was a joke. They were going to come outside of there and he was going to say, joking, like, give me the money for it, or here's your birthday present, or so. I didn't know what to think. I was gobsmacked, right? And then we went to another couple of stores and I was just thinking, he's dragging this joke out a bit long now. He's not into fighting games. He's never said he's into fighting games. The one game I wanted, just because he got there first, he wanted to pick it up. I thought That's totally out of order, do you know what I mean? Yes, so that's my 10 things I hate about retro game collecting. Or hunting, I think I called it. Yeah, 10 things I hate about retro game hunting. So choose your friends wisely, do you know what I mean? You don't want to be fighting over games. Like with me and Chris, we're the ones that go the most often. We've got this thing, like we'll pick a game up, like I can't think of an example. It'd be like we let each other know, say Chris picks up Nier Automata, and it's a hard game to find. This is quite common, right? But then if he picks it up and he's like, I don't know about this, I said, oh, that looks really good. And then I'll say, if you don't want it, I'll buy it. But because he's got it, he picked it up first. He's got dibs on it. So then he'll hand it to me. If he doesn't want it, if he wants it, he found it, great. Or if he doesn't want it, he knows I'm buying it. It's happened a few times. I think the Wind Waker for the GameCube. Chris, because at the time I was only collecting for GameCube at the time when I found that. Back in the day when they had the expensive cases out on display. So he found it, give it to me, and he said, if you don't want it, I'm buying it. And I was like, oh yeah, great. So I bought it that time. There's no hard feelings. That's the way it should be. We've never had a time where I've got a screenshot of all my games and one of the other boys has screenshotted the same game. That's never happened. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's very rare though that that's going to happen, I think, anyway. But yeah, that's the way I think it should be. So there we are. So that's my 10 things I hate about retro game hunting. Hope you enjoyed that video. I just wanted to get that off my chest, do you know what I mean? Yeah, please Hadouken that subscribe button. We're coming in, I had a look the other day, 600. We're closing in on that 600 subscribers. How cool is that? Yeah, so Hadouken that subscribe button. As always, love you, bye!